Hi there folks, so today I'm just going to give you a wee introduction to the camera itself. This is just useful stuff that you should know before you go into filming, before you go into taking photographs, just standard camera rundown, right? Just how to do certain things and how to make sure that everything's there so that you're ready just to go, right? So, we'll start with this, right? So, basic camera body, right? This is the Canon EOS 100D. The camera body is just a central bit without any lenses on it so far, right? Now, to put your lens on, what you want to do is most people will tend to cover this bit with a cap, twist that, take it off, right? That's what the inside should look like, just in case any of you wanted to know. Alrighty, so camera body, right? Get this. So this is your standard lens. This is an 18 to 55mm, right? Comes with majority of all Canon cameras when you purchase one. This will be the lens that most of you will probably be used to seeing. Most of you will get probably the most used to working with for the beginning of your filming career, right? This is just a standard lens, has a nice zoom, has a nice focus, enough to shoot through majority of things, basic interview kind of style things. A lot of student films use these kind of style lenses. They do well, they do give you a nice picture quality. So, get a camera body, get a camera lens. Right, make sure there's a white square there. There's a white square there. You want to line them up and twist. Give that click, that's your lens on. For the purpose of this, what I'm going to do is just cover the front of this lens for now, right? Right, so stuff like this, right? This is your full camera, this is it with the lens on, full setup, right? Now, down at the bottom here, you want to make sure two things, the most important things. Make sure your battery is fully charged. Alright, it's your standard Canon battery, should hold about maybe 4 hours worth of shooting footage, sorry. What you want to do is, if you're doing a big shoot, for instance, you know you're going to be filming for a couple of days, I would keep a couple of these on you, keep ones on charge, so you can constantly refresh. You don't want to run out of footage, you don't want to run out of battery halfway through a shoot. It's not ideal for anybody. It's happened to me, it's not fun. It slows the whole process down. The other important thing is these. You want to make sure that you have your camera memory so that you can actually film and retain the film. 64 gig, it's a SanDisk 64 gig drive. They are pretty good for being able to retain a lot of footage on them. 64 gigs quite a standard amount of footage. You will soon come to realise that these are probably the most important things you can have. You don't know how many things are going to go wrong when you're shooting, so it's good to have the ability to constantly re-roll, and these are what allow you to do that. So you want to make sure that's in. Cameras, most of them, you put two of these in together at the bottom under this wee bit, close that, and a wee red light should flicker there, let you know that you're ready to go, right? Now, just before we even turn on the camera, before we even start filming, just this first video is just going to be what things are on this, right? So, you go up here, well in fact, we'll start with the lens, right? This is one of the most useful things straight away. So, you'll notice that there's two things here. It says AF, right, and MF, autofocus, manual focus, right? You want to make sure that this wee slider is lined up with the manual focus, right? That gives you complete control of the lens, means that you can focus it, you can adjust it yourself when you're shooting, you can get your wee zooms in, you can pull out, you can put things into soft focus when people are talking by manoeuvring this wee bit round, right? That's a very, very useful tip. You don't want to be shooting in auto because it might not give you the effect that you're after. Again, underneath that you get your image stabilizer, right? You want to make sure that that is on, right? That means that if you're shooting with your camera, you're shooting handheld and you're moving, you obviously naturally you've got camera shake, which is when the camera bounces, right? That takes a wee bit of that out, it stabilises the image so you can get a clearer picture instead of, for instance, you're shooting a running scene, you're having to move along with the person. So on top of keeping the camera in focus and all that, you're having to keep the camera still. This will reduce that slightly so that you get a better picture quality out the back end of that. Now, up here, alright, you get this dial, alrighty. On this, you get a bunch of different settings. M, AV, TVP, you get a bunch of different ones for shooting photographs, so you'll get your macro is the flibber, you'll get landscapes, portrait style photography. We don't really need to know any of that, but we need that dial to be on, so that should just spin as M. That's manual, right? So manual, your camera is now completely in your control, right? So, up here, you see on off camera, straight to camera for filming, lens cap off, and there you go. That's your camera set up to begin the process of filming, right? This is what your camera would look like. So you can either have it on a tripod, you can be holding it, right? That's basically the beginning of the introduction to the camera, right? That's how you should set it up. That's what you should do. Make sure that these things are all in order before you start filming, all right? In the next video, we're going to get into how to properly set the camera up for the environment that the camera is in. So we're going to look into aperture, we're going to look into shutter speed, which in this case turns into frame rate. And we're going to look at ISO settings and whatever else that you need to make your camera optimal for what you want to film. So, thanks very much folks, I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.